Yeah, I've expressed my disappointment with Bellator. I had some conversations with Scott Coker, expressing that, and I'm not the type of fighter that needs to be sidelined and fought once a year. I need to be kept busy, and I think he knows now. Um, I think he wants to improve on that in 2018 and keep me more busy. So I'm waiting, and we'll see. I uh, I hope that I'll get at least 3 fights in for 2018. Probably the majority of fans. I don't say all of them, but yeah, I would say the majority probably think that this guy's going to get squashed. I do think that it's going to be a lot more competitive than the Paul Daly fight, but on the same note, I do believe his skill set is going to only delay what's going to happen, so I'm confident that I'm going to put him away. I've heard, all that for years now. I know the reality of the situation. I know all that talk doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. It never really gets me that excited. I don't feel the need to defend myself when someone says I'm going to get knocked out, because it's been said before, and maybe it stressed me out when I was 17 years old, like, oh, everyone thinks I'm going to get knocked out. Am I going to do this? What's going to happen? I know what's going to happen. I know what a fight's like, and, this is my life. I've experienced it all, so I'm pretty confident in myself and what happens inside the cage and during a fight, so whatever happens, I'm comfortable with it. Yeah, a bit. I mean, it's been a slow process with Bellator. I think their organization they're a little bit scattered. It's small staff and stuff like that, but they're doing the best they can. I'm sure 2018 we're going to get that ball rolling once I'm a champion. I think that creates more excitement going into Canada, going in as a champion. It's more meaningful to promote a fight out there, having the Canadian champion, things like that. So we'll see what happens. Somewhat, I think it gives me the sense of what kind of fighter Lima is. I think he's better than those guys, absolutely. But I don't think he likes to be pushed out of his comfort zone, and I don't think he likes to take risks. I think he likes to sit back, win fights, and I think he's a little bit scared in that sense when the time comes. I think he gets a little bit stressed out and doesn't want to take that risk. I've been there. I know that feeling, so I guess I know how to expose it, and I see it. I see it in his eyes. I see it in his performances. So that's why I'm pretty confident I know what's going to happen when we fight. Absolutely. I mean, Paul, like he said, he's not a mixed martial artist. He's a knockout guy. He's a stand-up guy, and that's it. He doesn't do all that other stuff, and that's why, he gets finished on the ground and he got beat up the way he did against me. Lima's not the same kind of person. He's a more well-rounded guy. He's going to be more competitive on the ground, more competitive in the wrestling, and just as competitive in the kickboxing. So, yeah, he poses a lot more problems. But I do believe that in the transitions that these more skilled and more well-rounded guys present, I think that's where I'm going to shine and have my exciting moments that really give the fan like an eye-opening experience. Like, okay, like this is the level difference of like the top guy and the guy just underneath. I just have the experience now that the fight with Lawler gave me a lot of comfort and confidence and in fighting in a cage. Like I've kind of been through that worst case scenario, so to speak, and once you go through that, it's kind of like I was telling another guy, it's like swimming in the deep end of the pool finally and realizing what it's about. So I'm pretty relaxed when it comes to stepping into the cage now. It's not that stressful. It is a stressful situation, and the fights can get intense and get away from you still, I guess. But I guess a new level of confidence and comfort came over me in that fight, and stressful situations like titles and attention and cameras and lights and people, that stuff kind of it's become easier for me to deal with because I've been through it, been there. You know, it's not unexpected, it's not unknown anymore. I know what it's about. I see it going probably 1 or 2 rounds, maybe 3. I don't see it going into the 4 or 5 rounds. No, I think I'm going to close the show before then.